It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show. Lot of rappers ain't none of niggas like me. Keep on looking, won't find nobody like me. Y'all cops still can't do it like me. Won't say she better find somebody like me. When I wake up, put my armor on. Crystal on my neck, it keep me shining like some armor off. Made it from the dirt, I keep a pistol as my bodyguard. Southside nigga learned a lot of game in California. Show they came a long way. I was on my Kanye. Cali with no option, I was dropping, trying to find a way. Bodies dropping broad day. I ain't had no industry connections. Been the hardest in my section. Had to learn my own lessons. Hop in studios. Lil Jones, no Julio. Playing pretty Ricky like Rubio. Nigga, find myself inside a mobile home. Stepping back into reality, it's like soul to soul. Trying to run the business, didn't know the codes. Talking independence to promote a song. Couldn't get no hits on the Google Chrome. I'm blessed now. All the niggas trying to play me stupid, got X-style. Gotta fill the room like a textile. If I leave the crib, it's for a check now. Had to change the plot, made it to the top and barely low. If you talking, come correct. I got my eyes on private checks, nigga. Lot of rappers ain't none of niggas like me. Keep on looking, won't find nobody like me. Y'all cops still can't do it like me. Won't say she better find somebody like me. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there this afternoon going into the evening. Now, in this video, we're going to be talking about Iggy Azalea and her response to Kanye West. If y'all can remember last night, Kanye went on a super long rant, well, all day yesterday, not just last night. He went in on Kendrick Lamar, Playboi Carti for not being involved or not being able to get a verse on the I Am Music album, right? Also mad at Playboi Carti for reaching out to Kim Kardashian to do a verse for Northwest on her project, of course, which seemed to be poking the bear, right? Then you have him going at Tyler, the Creator. He threw Iggy Azalea into the situation because, okay, you're going to reach out to my baby mama. I'm going to reach out to your baby mama about doing a song with your child, right? So now he decided he wanted to, you go low, I'm going to go lower, right? Which, of course, is Iggy. He threw shots at Jay-Z and Beyonce. He talked bad about their child. I don't know what the fuck going on with that, but I guess anybody wondering if him and Jay-Z were on good terms, you got your answer, you know? So he's doing all this for attention. He's got an album coming out. He wanted to be a part of that Playboi Carti album, whatever. He's vying for attention. He needs it to in order to feel like somebody. But one of the only people to respond, if not the only, is Iggy Azalea. Okay? So I'm going to get into what she had to say back to Kanye, and I'm also going to get into her issue with UMG, as she called them out recently, says that they owe her millions of dollars, and we're going to get into some other people that actually have justifiable issues with UMG, not like Drake, right? He don't like how his negotiation process is going to get another deal with UMG, so he's suing. When there's real people that are out here living and going through life who have not been properly paid in royalties, who have not been properly paid off of the music that they've already released, right? That is a reason to sue, not because they're not giving you what you want up front. Therefore, the negotiation process is getting too sticky for you. You can't take it. We'll get to that in a little bit, but first, let's get to Iggy and Kanye. So Iggy comes out and says, "It's crazy how much I actually know about that man," referring to Kanye, "and the things I could say. Thankfully, I'm nice and don't want to involve people who don't deserve to be mixed into his manic episode." Now, what he's done to people that she may know about, I don't know, but it seems that she's sparing Kanye on behalf of other people whose names would generally have to be revealed in order to drive a point home. But she's saying, I'm going to spare you this time. You know? Random acts of kindness. So she continues, "But let's keep it cute because I know who you send your penis pictures to." And if y'all don't know, there's numerous women that have actually filed lawsuits against Kanye for doing just that, or sending
alleged videos of himself pleasing himself to the thought of these women that have worked in his company. We talked about that stuff last year. I've given him less attention, but since he's asking for so much now, we're just going to cover a tidbit of what he's got going on. Okay? And the weird fantasies you have and share with other men. Most of Hollywood does. It's not a very well kept secret. Whoa. She says, also true story. He asked me to fly to Wyoming and shoot the Yeezy campaign in 2020, and I declined. Men are delusional. Now remember, Kanye came out and said that he would have slept with Iggy Azalea, but he did not, only out of respect for Playboi Carti, A$AP Rocky, Lil Yachty, and some other guys in the industry that he's trying to elude that have had some sort of intimate relationship with her. I don't know all the guys she's had intimate relationships with in the music industry, but he said that. And basically she's saying, you're delusional. You invited me to be a part of your campaign. I didn't come. I didn't want to be a part of it. So to imply or think that you would have had an opportunity to lay with me when I didn't even want to conduct business with you is crazy, right? She also states, hopefully the women you date or marry consent to the pictures you send of them to other men. Holy shit. So she's saying that Kanye is out here sending what seems to be photos of a sexual nature of his wife to other guys. And again, Amber Rose came out and said that Kanye is very much enamored by other men lusting after his women. Not only on some, you got a woman that's desirable or a woman that people find attractive, but he gets off on the idea of other men wanting to lay with his women. It's a weird kink of his, okay? I think it drives his nature and makes him a little bit more excited, I guess. But she says, hopefully the photos that you're sending out to all these guys is actually under the consent of your wife. Here we've got another response from Iggy where Kanye said, hey, Iggy Azalea, I need to get Onyx vocals on my song. That's my nephew. Oh, and I'm going to rap about one of your businesses, right? She comes in and says, yay, I understand the point you want to make. I say this with kindness, and as a mother, please leave my child out of this. At the end of the day, Jordan has other children. I believe that's Playboi Carti's real name. He says, less famous. Does it matter? But it seems only my son gets harassed in perpetuity about or on behalf of a man he has no relationship with, basically stating that and echoing what many have said, that he's not involved in his son's life. She says, does he read it? No, he's a child. But it creates a digital legacy and an odd, shitty situation for him to one day discover and endure in perpetuity from strangers online. Can I please have some peace? Can my son have some peace? So she's vying with people as a human being to say, yo, leave my kid out of this. Let that shit ride. Whatever y'all got going on, please don't bring that in our direction. We're trying to live in peace. You may or may not like Iggy Azalea. On a human level, I understand where she's coming from. Now, I don't know what the fuck is in the water or has been in the water for the last 365 days. Hell, I might even take it back a little further. The last 400 days or so, going back to January 1st, 2024. But people have been in a very angry state. People have been wanting to beef, get online, fight each other on camera, right? We're in this post World Star Zeus Network era of conflict resolution, and people are taking that shit to the max, right? It's almost like if you're not crashing out, you're not relevant. And unfortunately, that's kind of the atmosphere that we're trying to like coexist within as it pertains to the entertainment industry and what's going on. We're no longer like giving people the accolades that they deserve for like actual good performance and like being good at their craft and showing up and showing out. The sexier stories are the crash outs. Now let's get to Iggy Azalea and her gripes with UMG as it pertains to the finance part. And then we're going to get into some other people that also share her sentiments in the music industry that either have or have not been acknowledged. So we've got this article here. Iggy Azalea takes aim at UMG. You will pay me what's owed. Okay, they say Iggy Azalea has accused Universal Music Group of withholding millions of dollars in unpaid royalties, taking to social media to demand what she claims is rightfully hers. The Australian rapper, known for her 2014 smash hit Fancy, claimed in a series of posts on X on Saturday, claiming that UMG has failed to pay her international royalties throughout her career. And for people that don't understand international royalties versus domestic royalties, they're a bit different in terms of how they're collected. You got to go through a lot of different organizations abroad, because every different territory kind of has their own performance rights organizations that collect and disperse the money from your music. So international royalties are a little bit tougher for some people to collect on, especially if you're not actively going after them, or if you don't have a dedicated team. If anybody out there is trying to get international royalties and you're having trouble with that, I suggest reaching out to Tammy Latrell, okay, from the Mezzo Agency. I've got a rapport with her. If you need me to point you in the right direction or make an introduction, I can, as long as you're actually serious about your music and have actual money that you need to collect, not just on some I'm trying to get into it. Although she can help you get into it as well. But you know how I go. Anyway, she says, crazy how in my entire career, I was never paid a single royalty by Universal Music for anything outside of the USA. They owe me millions of dollars in back pay that they technically stole from me. As per my contract, I am due payment. The amount owed is in the 8-figure range. She further revealed that UMG attempted to settle the matter with a payout far below what she believes she is owed. Last week, they tried to respond to my lawyer and offer me a settlement of $18K. So she believes she's owed millions of dollars. She says UMG reached out with an offer of $18,000. Now, I ain't the most famous motherfucker out here. You understand? And the bulk of my actual royalties as a musician are international royalties. And I think if I had a pretty good year, I could probably get $18,000 in international royalties in a year. So what they're offering her is child's play. And they know that shit was child's play. Okay? She says, I'm told this is a normal response from their lawyers. And after appearing in court, they end up paying millions as they're supposed to. Okay? So she says this is their typical negotiation tactic. They offer you some bullshit. Some people who don't want to go through the fight, they'll accept it and keep going. But if you actually press it in court, she says they end up paying what they're supposed to. Azalea, whose real name is Amethyst Amelia Kelly, signed with Island Def Jam under the UMG umbrella in 2013 before moving to Island Records and eventually parting ways with the company in 2018. Despite her departure, she claims that the label has continued to withhold her earnings, particularly from outside the U.S. Okay? Now, beyond her own case, Azalea expanded her criticism to UMG's treatment of artists in general. She says, I'd like to publicly say that I think Universal Music are criminals who actively take advantage of all of their artists in perpetuity for their own gain. That's a motherfucking Snapple fact. That is the truth. Now, for some people out there that are pro-Drizzy, they're going to say, well, how is it that you can acknowledge that UMG is bad here, but you can't acknowledge that they're bad in Drake's case? I'm going to tell you straight up why. If Drake came out and said, UMG has been stealing my royalties for the past 18 years of my career, I would 100% say, sue them niggas. Drake has filed a petition. Drake has filed a lawsuit. Drake has filed an amended complaint, if I'm not mistaken. And he has an opportunity to file another one as UMG is trying to stay their request for discovery. The judge is asking him to submit an amended complaint, if he will. But none of that paperwork, and we've read that paperwork on my channel, and I'm sure other channels that you frequent have read that paperwork, and none of it has said UMG owes me money. UMG owes me unpaid royalties. UMG has stolen money from me. Have we heard that verbiage from Drake? Have we seen that verbiage from Drake and his legal team? Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, if they would have gave him what he asked for, he would have jumped right back in the bed with these so-called criminals and snuggled up. We got Kendrick out here talking about squabble up. This nigga trying to snuggle up. So no, miss me with the bullshit. Okay? Now, Iggy says, Universal Music really needs to do better in their treatment of the artists who quite literally earned them millions via intellectual property they had zero part in creating. Yuck. The rapper didn't hold back in her final statement, making a direct demand to the label. Universal Music, mark my words, you ugly bitches. You will pay me what's owed. She added that her dispute with UMG has been ongoing for over 2 years and counting. Okay, UMG has not publicly responded to Azalea's accusations. However, this is not the first time the label has faced allegations of withholding royalties. Remember, it was just a couple months ago I told y'all Limp Bizkit sued UMG, and I want to go ahead and pull up what happened with them because we've got an update. So here we've got Limp Bizkit's $200 million lawsuit heading to trial after UMG's motion to dismiss has been denied. So UMG tried to get this tossed out as well, and it's not going in their favor. Okay? So Limp Bizkit's $200 million lawsuit against UMG will head to trial after a federal judge denied the label's motion to dismiss the case. Fred Durst and company sued UMG, the world's largest record company, in October 2024 in one of the most notable lawsuits of the year in the music industry, along with alleging that UMG withheld as much as $200 million in royalties. In an equally notable fraud allegation, the band claimed that the company had designed and implemented royalty software and systems that were deliberately designed to conceal artists' royalties and keep those profits for itself. Okay? So this is another person saying that their royalties are being withheld, which means for the music that they've retroactively released over the tenure of their career, they're not being properly paid for those sales, those streams, those mechanical royalties. Right? The following month, UMG filed its motion to dismiss the lawsuit, saying it was based on a fallacy and claiming that plaintiff's entire narrative that UMG tried to conceal royalties is a fiction. When someone is caught red-handed, their first response is offered to hire very expensive outside law firms who first, as a matter of course, try anything to dismiss the suit when they are in trouble with the facts. This is what a representative from the band said in November. In this case, we believe UMG is using a typical formulaic, well-trodden strategy of reaching for any escape route by desperately grasping at technicalities. While Limp Bizkit's lawsuit did encounter some legal hurdles earlier this year, the federal judge's ruling Monday, obtained by Rolling Stone, sets the stage for a trial between the band and its former label. The court denies the motion to dismiss, challenging the sufficiency of the copyright claims, Judge Perry Anderson wrote. Defendant shall file its answer to the copyright claims asserted in the first amended complaint by no later than April 7th. Okay? 2025. And I've been meaning to actually go through that lawsuit with y'all, but that shit, you think Drake's lawsuit is long? Theirs is longer, which is why I haven't found time to even talk about it. Plus, I know y'all don't really give two shits about Limp Bizkit, but contextually speaking, this is a band that's going through the same shit, right? Now let's get to Angie Stone, right? Because before she untimely passed away, she had these same complaints of her royalties not being properly disseminated to her and at the companies that she was signed to throughout the duration of her career. They had been improperly registering her music for royalty collection. So the very people that were supposed to be handling her business on her behalf for her benefit were actually doing it to her detriment, similarly to how a Diddy and his family have been doing for decades.
Right now, before I reveal some very, very interesting information, and it is like a double-edged sword, because I'm going to tell you one thing, and then I'm going to get to the worst thing that could possibly happen to any artist after 45 to 50 years in the business. The worst thing that could happen. It has, of course, happened to me, and I'm constantly in prayer for God to forgive the people that have wished me ill will, or done anything to remotely get in the way of the gift of sharing with my fans. Okay, we're at 45. Let me get 50. Let me get 60, and I'm gonna give y'all 5 more minutes to get some more people on this live. The devil is a liar. You're right. Come on now. Come on. Oh, by the way, the Christmas song, All I'm Missing, is #1 in several countries. We put it out on the 15th of November. On the 14th of November, the devil tried to stop that. It was snatched down. Then it was put back up. He tried to, of course, blame it on me, but it wasn't my fault. However, the song prevailed. After everybody bailed, the song went all the way to #1 and is steadily climbing the chart. So if you guys have never heard My Mechanicals, they've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, I won't say stolen, but they have taken all the monies that were due to me. They have basically absorbed in that company. And even though there's several class action lawsuits, people that were working on my behalf never even registered the songs. All the songs that I've done, I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to. People that were supposed to do their due diligence. So I am truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time. Because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly. But there are key people that have been driving the ships. And what they've been doing is improperly representing me, improperly stealing from me, taking things in their own hand, changing and switching lanes because they knew I didn't know that part. See, I'm not an attorney. I don't know everything. What I learned how to do was go out, work hard, get paid, come home, pay my bills, take care of my family.
All right, so that's Angie Stone. Rest in peace to Miss Angie Stone. Now remember, she's been in the music industry since the 70s. She was a part of the first female rap group in all of hip hop. So it really should have been a lot more pandemonium out here when she said this. Should have been a lot more pandemonium out here when she passed away with not really clear indication of what really happened. But I think it was about a month before all that happened, she was out here saying she was trying to obtain her money. She was having issues getting her music out, and it was still rising within the ranks of charts and different things like that. And she said she should have been able to retire 20 years ago. Remember now, we're in 2025. So she should have been able to retire like in 2005, which in my youth, that was around the time I even came to know who Miss Angie Stone was. I didn't even know she had been around so long. You know what I'm saying? What they call rapping, Miss Angie Stone was one of the people that kind of brought it to the table, but they never give people from the South any of that love. They give it to the people from the East Coast. I'm not trying to have that battle with y'all today, but if you go look up her history, it's documented, right? So we definitely should have showed a lot more love and support for Miss Angie Stone. But it's good that we're able to talk about it and keep that going and keep that spirit alive. And hopefully others that are in her position are able to get their situation rectified. Now, somebody who wasn't is legendary hip hop group Black Sheep. The choice is yours. You could get with this or you could get with that, right? I reference them quite a bit on my channel because I say those lines. But they filed a class action lawsuit against UMG for the same problems. And their lawsuit got tossed. Black Sheep's class action lawsuit against Universal Music Group over royalties and Spotify deal is dismissed. This happened in 2023, about the end of the year. They say earlier this year, at the time in 2023, the 1990s hip-hop duo Black Sheep filed a class action lawsuit against Universal Music Group over the label's business dealings with Spotify. The breach of contract lawsuit claimed that the label owed more than $750 million in royalties to various artists. And of course, these are artists from earlier generations, from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, etc., who also had similar disputes, and they all came together under a class action, right? However, the lawsuit was dismissed. Court documents viewed by Pitchfork confirmed. The rapper's lawsuit argued that UMG's undisclosed sweetheart deal with Spotify violated the duo's 1990 contract with Universal imprint Polygram. They claimed that the contract required for UMG to pay 50% of all net receipts connected to the use or exploration of their music, right? So this is not the type of deal that Drake was talking about where we're going to give y'all a break to pay us less money in order to promote a record. This is a deal in which we're talking about when UMG decided to go into business with Spotify and allow artists whose music predates streaming, when they allowed that music to be used for streaming, they were in a contract that states when their music sells, the artist is supposed to receive 50% of all net receipts, which means that they will be in a good position to make 50%. However, once you start breaking that down, because labels are making millions of dollars off of Spotify streams, however, the artists, once all of that money gets recouped and goes through all of the different cross-collateralization that they do, artists get pennies on the dollar, right? So, again, they claim they were supposed to get 50% of all net receipts for the use of exploration of their music. They have not received such a thing. They claim the class impacted in the lawsuit can include at least thousands of artists. United States District Judge Jennifer Rashawn decided that Black Sheep had exceeded the statute of limitations. So because this happened too long ago and the music had been on Spotify for over a decade, she said, we're not going back in time. Y'all are past the statute of limitations. We can't revisit that. Therefore, deeming their lawsuit time barred. Not to say that they didn't have a case, but it just was too late. Judge Rashawn also rejected the rapper's argument that UMG was in breach of contract. The request for leave to amend was denied. So they even wanted to amend their complaint to justify or fix up the language, and they got denied by the judge. Case closed. UMG declined to comment. Pitchfork has reached out to Black Sheep's attorneys. Craziness, man. And these are the people that I feel sorry for. These are the people that I advocate on behalf of when it comes to complaints with UMG, because they put their time in, they put their music out, they went out on the fucking road, they bust their ass. People like Black Sheep have been playing shows overseas for decades, don't get the love, the respect of American market, even though they're fucking from here. Don't get the respect that they're owed in the fucking city that they come from. Ain't no pension plan, ain't none of that stuff in place for them. Now they out here fucked up, and they say, yo, y'all violated our deal. We were supposed to get 50% of when y'all sell our shit. It was all good until y'all decided to put our shit on Spotify, stop selling music when we used to get, $16, $17, bust it down. Yeah, we was eating pretty good when that music was selling. Now we're getting, 0.003 something cents on a penny. And we got millions of streams coming in, but it's not streaming down to us. Yeah, I do feel bad for those people. Drake, on the other hand, how could I feel bad for a man that got a $500 million contract or something like that and was probably about to get another one, but he wanted more money? Now, if he comes out and says they stole my royalties, we could have a different conversation. All right? It's not about him, but I'm just saying, because I know there's always going to be somebody that brings him into it. So I wanted to just go ahead and let y'all know how I feel ahead of time. All right. Well, let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I really love having these conversations. This is actually the backbone of my channel, although sometimes it's not always the most viewed or most appreciated types of content. This is my wheelhouse. This is like what I really came to YouTube to do. But be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.